با سلام و درود خدمت حضار گرامی، همکاران عزیز. من امیر وینسنت هستم از شرکت کانادا کرییت، مجری این وبینار. از نظر تکنیکی و پروموشن شما رو خوش آمدگویی میکنم. سخنران اصلی برنامه با حدود 10 تا 15 دقیقه تأخیر میرسه خدمتتون، اما این هیچ مشکلی نیست. ما یه پلان خوب داریم که از شرکت کانادا کرییت یه خدمات خیلی ارزنده رو این روزا براتون خیلی خلاصه دمو کنیم، نه فقط کار تبلیغی. بهتون دوست دارم نشون بدم امروز چند تا لندینگ پیج رو که شرکت ما برای لید جنریشن در زمینه پری کانستراکشن برای چند تا از ایجنت هایی که در این زمینه سالهاست دارن کار میکنن ساخته و بهتون نشون میدم. ما از سال 2008 شرکتمون رو تأسیس کردیم و کسایی که خیلی از دوستای ما که قدیمیان میدونن که پری کانستراکشن از سودای خیلی زیادی گذشت و این فرصتی بود که ایجنت ها بتونن کمیسیون های خیلی خوبی رو 4%، 5% تا 6% و چه بسا با اینسنتیو های خیلی بالا از بیلدرها بگیرن. و خب واقعا هم رابطه‌ای که با بیلدرها دیولپ میشه به خاطر اون لیداییه که یک ایجنت میبره. پس من دوست دارم بهتون چند تا لندینگ پیج نشون بدم که بهتون بگم چجوری میتونیم ما این لیدها رو از طریق لندینگ پیج جذب کنیم. من اسکرینمو با شما شیر میکنم. خب این لندینگ پیجیه که مثلا ما برای پروژه ارزم به حضورتون همونطور که میبینید این ترانزیت سیتی فاز 4 هستش ساختیم. لندینگ پیج ها تقریبا نان برندد هست، یعنی به نام ایجنت خاصی نیست. کاری نداریم که در مسائل حقوقی و قانونیش آخرش همه اون نکات ذکر میشه. اما لندینگ پیج کیفیتی داره که وقتی که خریدار پتانسیل بخواد بیاد وارد سایت بشه یک آرامشی بهش دست بده که این سایت رسمی هست، این سایت درست هست، یا تیمی که پشت این سایت هست یه تیم قوی هستش. چون این روزا تولید یک وبسایت خیلی هم ویژوالی شیک و هم واقعا فانکشنال یه کار خیلی تخصصی، همونطور که خودتون میدونید هر کاری تخصصی. خیلی خلاصه بهتون چند تا لندینگ پیج نشون میدم از کارهای خودمون هستش که اکثرا برای ریلتورها ساخته شده، ریلتورایی که پرسونال کار کردن. این برای پروژه XO2 هستش و لیدهایی که توی این سایت رجیستر میشه از طریق گوگل میاد. با یک کمپین ادوردز 500 تا $1000 شما میتونید تعداد زیادی 50 تا 100 تا لید بگیرید و از طرفی خب خیلی هاش اینا نیاز به غربال شدن داره، اما خیلی هاش با یه خرید شما خودتون بهتر میدونید که جبران میکنه و خیلی از اینا اینوستور هستن، خیلی از اینا دنبال اینکام پراپرتی هستن، خیلی از اینا دکتر، وکیل، دندون پزشک هستند و رابطه ریختن با این لیدهای اینترنتی خیلی وقتا خوبه. من چند تایی رو که دم دستمون بود دارم نشون میدم بهتون. برای نیویو کاندوس هستش که در اوکویل، برای ناتاشا رزیدنسز هست دیگه. حالا طراحی‌ها بسته به نوع رنگ، برندینگ، اینا رو شرکت ما، تیم ما خودش انجام میده. یا کاندو سلست هستش که برک هستش. اینا خیلی هاشو شما ممکنه شنیده باشید، خیلیش ممکنه قدیمی باشه. ما فقط به عنوان سامپل خدمتتون داریم نشون میدیم که بدونید که ورایتی کار چی هستش. گاهی میتونیم ما اینجا ویدیو داشته باشیم، ویدیو خود پروژه باشه، یا نه از حتی ویدیو پروژه که بیلدر در اختیار قرار میده لوگوی شما بخوره، شماره تلفن شما بخوره، یه ادیت خیلی لایتی بشه. و خب کانت داون داریم. خیلی وقتا از طریق سنس اف ارجنسی هستش که شما میفروشید، لید جنریت میکنید. این لیدا حتی توش نوشته آر یو ان ایجنت یس نو، که شما بدونید وقتتون رو برای کی دارید میذارید. و خب این فرما کاستومایز میشه، کاملا با سی آر ام شما اینتگریت میشه. و این 4-5 تا پروژه دیگر هم بهتون نشون بدم. اینا همش موبایل فرندلی هست. لندینگ پیجا به صورت اینکه چه در موبایل، چه در تبلت، چه در دسکتاپ باشن یک پرزنتیشن خوبو بگیرن. خیلی از اینا لایو چت داره که وقتی که ایجنت لایو میشه اینجا میاد میگه اگه سوالی دارید به من بگید. حالا اینا تاریخیه، یعنی ما لیدایی که جنریت کردیم من تو نرم افزار لندینگ پیجمون میتونم بهتون خیلی خیلی خلاصه، به هر حال اینا خیلی کانفیدنشیاله، ولی در این حد که فقط بهتون بگم که چه اتفاقی میفته و مردم چجوری پر میکنن. مثلا اینجا این دوستان شماره تلفن، اسم، ایمیل، آیا شما ایجنتین؟ خیر نه. حالا من خیلی نمیتونم واردش بشم، ولی این حقیقتیه که این روزا اون کسی که جلوی چشم مخاطبه و آفر خوبی رو داره میده خب توجه زیادتری میگیره. اگه ما میتونیم خدمتتون برسیم خیلی هم خوشحال میشم. دوستان به من خبر دادن که جناب دکتر سم تشریف آوردن. من اسکرین هم موقت میکنم و گوشی رو به دست اساتید این هم میسپارم که ما رو ببرن به سفر سوشال میدیا برای ریلتورها و اینکه حالا فرضاً که لندینگ پیج خوب دارین، کجاهای سوشال میدیا باید چیکار کنید یا سیستمایی که ایشون معرفی میکنن. همینطور میارم بالا خانم سارا کلالی رو، هست این برنامه هستن. خیلی خوش آمدید جناب سام، من رفع زحمت میکنم. سلام سارا.
سلام. خیلی خوشحالم از اینکه در خدمتتون هستم. مرسی از پرزنتیشنتون و کلی فکر میکنم به زمینه سازی کرد که why do you need a landing page، چرا لندینگ پیج مهمه. واقعا خیلی کار جالبی انجام دادین و
خواهش میکنم.
super important.
خوشحالم که فعلا بس من
مرسی.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining to another webinar presented by PICRA. My name is Sarah Kalali, member of Toronto Real Estate Board and proud member of PICRA as well. Today, I have a pleasure of having Mr. Sam Mehrbod here, and for another webinar with the subject of social media for realtors. Because of the delay, I asked Mr. Sam to introduce himself and start the session. Just please put your question to the chat box there, and we will answer all the questions. Mr. Sam will answer all the questions after this session. Mr. Sam, welcome, and thanks for accepting our invite to the PICRA webinar.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks to Ali, Sarah, and everyone for really organizing this. I've seen how hard you guys are working to add value to the members, and that's really valuable. Okay, so today I will make this. I will try to make this a bit of a hybrid demo. So what I would do first is I will show you like what our platform looks like, but I would want to explain the importance of social media, why you should get out there, what it is that we've learned, and we can kind of go from there. So just a bit of a background. I was a top performing realtor here in Vancouver. I had my own team, and I wanted to create content. So the content creation was a pain. Everyone told me, well, get on social media, do this. But at the same time, I was like, how? Like, how do I do this? Like, it's impossible to come up with great local content. So and another problem that I had back in the day was, okay, how often should I post? When do I post? And how do I really manage my business while I'm talking to clients, while I'm doing all these things? And the idea was to create something for myself first, while I could basically scale it for others. So just to give you a background, we started this in Vancouver. We've grown from less than like 100 agents to now 55,000 agents across the US and Canada. We are a national association of realtors, the big organization in the US portfolio right now. So we are backed by a lot of big players, and we are also here to learn and get feedback from others. So think of this chat as much of as an interactive chat, so I can learn what it is that you guys are thinking, what are the problems that you're facing, and we can kind of go from there. So let me show you what this looks like in practice first, and then we kind of go from there to do the presentation. So let me share my screen. Let's see. Okay. All right. I guess now you should be able to see the screen. So the first thing. So this is Ali's social media right now, and you can see how this looks. Or can you see the screen? No. Yes. No. Okay. It looks like we are. Okay. Something is happening here. I think I got cut off. Let me see. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Can't. Okay. So let's share the screen and let's try again. Okay. It looks like you can see the screen, I suppose. All right. Okay. So this is the screen. So this is Ali's LinkedIn right now. We've posted great content for him. So this is personalized content that you can see. The idea is to post relevant content. So an hour ago, we posted what's happening based on Korea's forecast in the market. And the idea was to give this tailored experience to Ali. So he would have his branding. Here's the skyline of Toronto and his favorite things that he wants to say about his brand, and also give that cohesive brand experience. So he talks about the stats, but also he has this great presence on social media. So our designers actually sat down with Ali, making sure that his design is reflected in everything that we posted. And again, Ali is active, so he's posting a ton of content. But the idea is that we also post content for him. So this is like Toronto suburban market going up and down. Again, the branding is the key, making sure that we produce a super relevant experience for his audience, and making sure that he's staying on top of mind on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. So remember one thing, guys, like we are in the education business as realtors. We keep thinking we are in the selling business, but that's wrong. That's generally wrong. Like, you don't want to be doing that, right? You want to be educating your audience. You want to tell them a good story, and you want to create connections while you do that. So again, another content that we've created for Ali, like yesterday, Toronto real estate market update. So you can see tons of things in there, like where the market is going and the trends and so on. So you can see the whole staff there. So again, this story goes on forever. So you can see a lot of content that we post for Ali, and the idea is to just make sure we stay relevant for him. So now, what I'm going to show you next is essentially telling the story of what we've learned over the past year or so, 2 years of just posting content. What did we learn? And this is the data analytics from 1 million posts in 2022. We generated about 51,000 leads on social media. And then the idea is to learn from and kind of explore what it is that we've learned, how we can basically go from there, and what it is that realtors should do. So the idea is that we're transitioning from these eras of classifieds, billboard ads, and so on to social media. So everyone knows how important social media is, but everyone has the problem of coming up with the content. So again, I've covered like what our product does. Now let's look into what we can do to actually utilize this. Something else that a lot of realtors have a problem with is, how do I convert my traffic into leads? Like, what is a good landing page doing? Like, should this landing page be super long? Should it be short? What are the tactics? So again, another thing that we've seen. So we used to start as this. We did a lot of on-camera market updates with agents, and then we realized, well, it's not scalable. A lot of agents stopped coming up to the sessions because they were like, oh, I'm busy today, I'm showing a house, I'm buying a house, I'm doing all these things. So they stopped coming to the casting sessions, and we couldn't do that consistent social media. I talk with a lot of players in the field, and they say, well, agents are paying me $2,000 a month, and they're supposed to send me like 2 videos, so I would edit it for them and I will post it, but they're not doing that. So the pain is there, we all know it, but how do we fix that? So again, to summarize, we create unique content for you and we distribute it. So this could be content that will be going on your social media. This could be content that goes through email marketing. This could be content that you can run ads on. And I would cover these as I explain the whole thing. But the idea is just to see what it is and how we can go from there. So again, this is our basically ad system. I will show you that in a second, but let's dive a little bit deeper and go from there. So why social media? There's about 5 billion people around the world that are on social. There's about 1 billion on Instagram right now, and it's mind-blowing to think that a lot of us still think social media is for millennials. It's not. Everyone is on there, and a lot of us still think of Facebook as the main place to go. Again, a lot of people are leaving Facebook. Facebook actually lost users last year. So think of all the social medias, think of all the things. But again, what we do is, as agents, we tend to spend a lot of money on our websites and landing pages and so on. But a lot of times your leads still come from social media. So this is the data by NIR. It's not us. And this is telling you like where the new business is actually coming from, right? And you can see like personal blogs and websites that you spend 10 grand on, unless you send traffic to that website, you're not going to get that much traffic and you're not going to get that much leads and activity from it. So there are other, like I've seen great experts early on in the days, like Ali, that have focused on getting organic traffic, but not everyone is going to fight that battle, and it's going to be a long battle. So if you're sending traffic here, think of a way to send traffic from social to a personal blog, from CRM to a personal blog, from lead aggregators like Zillow in the US, like condos.ca, or anything that's out there to your personal blog. Like another thing could be RW that we have in Canada. In Canada. So anyway, think of that and understand that this is a long-term game. Another thing that we tested and we asked our agents about is like, what social media do you use and what is the popularity on it? Again, a lot of agents are still using Facebook for business, then Instagram, then LinkedIn, then Twitter and TikTok. So I want to change that perception, guys, because Facebook for business, this is a pay-to-play model. So unless you're willing to pay on Facebook, do not post and expect like huge engagement results from Facebook. Facebook is really changing its algorithms to either show really paid content or just not show you at all. So again, Instagram is there, and I'm happy that we see this on our surveys because at least it shows that agents are understanding the value of Instagram. But I get a lot of agents that are not on Instagram. They think it's for younger generation and so on. Do not think that. Do not go with that attitude and mentality. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of value on Facebook. So make sure you get on Instagram and so on. LinkedIn. This is another great place where people with actual jobs hang out. These are the people that hold a steady job. They want to grow in their career. So get on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn. You have to be on LinkedIn constantly, and you have to add content. The next thing that we understood is Twitter and TikTok. So again, Twitter is performing really great. Not everyone responds to your tweets, but you're staying on top of mind. So something else that I want to talk about is you need to know that social media is the story of presence. So you have to constantly add value on social media and post constantly on social media. So let's move on to the next item. So we asked agents, how do you measure success on social media? Like, what is it? Is it direct messages? Is it engagement? Is it a call that you're getting? Or like a conversation that you would have with your sphere later on? And we saw that, yes, like most of that feedback should be coming to you directly and others. So do not expect that. And this is still 35% thinking that they get engagement. Like engagement is the metric. Yes, engagement is the metric. The like and follows and all those things are the metric. But think of that messages and think of the consistency of the messages that you're sending out on social. So moving on, we did another study and we looked at what are the most engaging real estate post types. So we did 1 million posts. We were like, okay, so what is performing better? So again, in this chart that you see here, at the bottom of this list is what? Listing videos. And how many of you have spent over $500 on listing videos? I know it's a great tool to say, I'm in the business, I'm listing homes, and you can get future sellers with it. But in terms of actual social media engagement, you're not getting that much impressions. and engagement. So something else that I always say is try running home searches. So home searches are great tools to drive clicks to a website. So if you're using anything, do the home search. But remember one thing, guys, and that is, if you're doing the home search, you have to also think about the reach and the engagement. So home search is a great tool to drive clicks, but it doesn't have that much engagement. People just come in, they browse, and they leave. So remember this when you're posting. So another thing is list of homes. So this is a curated list of homes, and we've seen realtors do that, and we post that as well. The idea is that, I'll give you a list of homes under $1 million. I'll give you a list of homes under $1.5 million with a basement. And that drives clicks, and it has high engagement. So think of this as well. If the next time you're posting something, think of a content that would drive the clicks to it, but also has engagement. So another thing is the recommended videos. So it doesn't show here, but it's the recommended videos that we've recommended based on the audience of the each agent, and we've posted for them. That performed great. Again, do not go all the way in and do your blogs and listing videos. These are great content, but post them every, once in a month or so. These are not engaging contents, and they don't drive clicks or engagement. So moving on, we also looked at best performing posts on social media. The idea was to know what is working for each social and how it's really impacting. So we saw that for videos, we had a lot of posts that we made. So this is the number of posts that we made and the agents that connected the contacts. So again, Facebook for Business took a huge chunk of our posts last year. I'm still advocating to agents and say, do not think Facebook for Business is just, if you've done Facebook Business and you think it's over and it's all perfect now, think again. It's not complete yet. You have to be on other socials. Moving on, we also looked at what are the video types and how they're performing across the agents that did the things. Again, listing videos performed relatively lower than neighborhood videos or market update reports. So think of what you're posting on social media. When you post that listing, you're making an assumption that all your audience are interested in that listing, and that's usually wrong. I've seen realtors putting listings in an email news campaign and sending it. So like, let's say I'm in Toronto, I'm in the Ajax market, and someone sends me a Hamilton video. I'm like, what do I do with this? And the chances are that agent is sending a message and saying, okay, I'm active in the Hamilton market. I'm probably too far from you to serve you in the Ajax market. So listings are great, but again, think of what you're posting and do it in moderation. So think of what you're doing to basically understand and make sure that you are adding value on your social media. So if you're posting something on social, make sure it's relevant. Make sure it's adding something that your audience would actually benefit from, and they can kind of go from there. Another thing that we did, and I can show you an example of this and show you what that looks like in a sec. But the market update reports videos, the neighborhood videos, these are the contents that we do create, and you can actually use them to drive engagement. I'm going to bring Ali's profile so you guys can get a glimpse of like the content that's available and the things that you can actually run through. So let's see. Okay, let me see if let's see if we can. Yes, it looks like you can actually see it. Okay. All right. So again, we have a ton of content. Go out there, take a look at the content and see what it is that you want to share with your audience. But don't think that you're just supposed to basically share one market update. You're supposed to do a lot of education. Like keep talking about different things that are happening in the market. Like, are the rates going up? Are the rates going down? What is happening to like rates and so on? And again, tips to build credit. So these are another type of content. So think of all the content and think of posting this content consistently. again, if you want to look at like micro content, we have a ton of content that you can see here. Like yesterday, we added all these contents that you can actually use, and every piece of content is personalized to you. So you can use that. You can share it on Instagram. You can as an image and so on. But let me just go back here. The point of this presentation was to make sure you do a lot of market reports. You do a lot of neighborhood videos and content just to make sure you are posting relevant content. So another thing I wanted to say about listings, sorry, I keep remembering this stuff. When you post a just sold or just listed in your feed on your Instagram or your LinkedIn, there is a good chance that your buyers or that person in your network is thinking, God, how much money is Ali making? Is he doing anything for marketing, or is he doing anything to educate me? But when you post relevant content, they get value from you. So again, do things in moderation. Do not just post just listed, just sold. Add value. So another thing that we looked at, the optimal video duration for realtors. So as agents, we love ourselves. We tend to do these 5-minute videos that talks about how great I am. I'm getting off my Mercedes and I'm talking about like how great I am and why people should work with me. Stop doing that. This is not getting engagement. I know it boosts your ego, but when we actually talk with agents, they think they should have 5-minute videos. But the reality is, after a certain amount of seconds, the engagement goes drastically down. So this is another thing that you have to keep thinking about. And you have to understand that agents prefer longer videos, but the actual impressions and engagement caps at around 70 seconds. So do not go all the way up. Stay within that minute. Something else that we've seen is agents come to me and they're like, Sam, I want to download 10 videos today. And Ali, thanks for this question. I'm actually covering it right now. So agents come to me and they're like, Sam, I want to download 10 videos today. I'm like, why? And the second question is, well, I want to download it and post it all at the same time. And I'm like, well, first of all, we post the constantly. Our office is next to a hospital. Okay, I think we're clear now. So what I keep telling them that, look, you can share the content and you can do it, but do not overdo it. Do not post 10 videos a day and think you're adding value. You're not. Your audience is like, what is going on? Why do I have this many people, basically this many posts showing up in my feed? So again, the golden number is 5 to 10 times per week. We've seen that number kind of dropping once you pass that 6 to 8 times a week number. So make sure you're posting pretty much every day, but not more than one a day. The moment you go over that, you're spoiling your network. You're asking your audience to skip interacting with you. And I want to make sure that you understand that. So something that I keep telling is that think about how you would want to see others on social. Like, you probably want to interact with the content. You want to see short content. And another thing that I want to say is, if you're creating your own market updates, and I've seen a lot of realtors do that, and that's a great practice. If you're creating your own market update, make sure you do it in moderation and it's short. So think of market updates as the rain or as the weather report. So you don't want to know like if it's 22% warmer today or there's like 33% cloudier weather. You're like, well, what do I do with this? Like, okay, sorry guys, I'm just gonna mute myself. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so you want to think about market updates as the weather forecast. So you just want to know, do I need a jacket today? Do I need a umbrella? What is it that I need? So again, think of your market updates as these short summaries of where the market is going. So moving on, the next topic that I want to cover is the optimal time to post. So we've seen this a lot. For whatever reason, Saturday is not performing as great for posting. Maybe people are out there having parties. Maybe, I don't know what's happening. But anyway, Sunday and Monday look to be better days for posting content. And then Saturday is the worst day to post content. So optimal time to post during the day. This is another interesting thing. So I've been guilty of this. I've posted content at like 3 a.m. and I've gotten no engagement. And I've also posted at like 10 p.m. while people are like going to bed. So obviously there is no engagement. So the best time to post is around 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Bear in mind that this is PST. So, and we have a lot of agents in Toronto. So probably like some of that overlaps until to like 2 or 3 o'clock in there. So now we dive deep into ads. So before I cover ads, I want to show you what our ad system looks like so you can get a better idea of why I'm covering this. So a lot of agents came to us and said, hey, Sam, can you do ads for us? And we're like, okay, what is ads? So we initially created this ad, which is what your home is worth, and you can kind of see it, and you can change the creative, and you can directly connect with your Facebook account and run ads here, and it gives you great leads. But this is the crappiest ad to run if you're running it, because every agent in the past 5 years has run this ad, and they've kind of spoiled the audience and spoiled the network with this. So if you're thinking of getting seller leads, run this one instead. And it's saying like wondering what your neighbors are selling for, or run a Chinese version of it, or run a like Spanish version of it. But you have to be able to speak these languages because it attracts those type of people, and we target people for that. Another great ad that you should run is get a list of homes under a certain price range, like I think I was just describing it. So you can change, and you can basically run ad based on that. And you can even say, okay, I want to run ads for a list of homes for under, like, I don't know, 800K. I don't know if there are 800K homes in Toronto left, but whatever, for the sake of this conversation. So you can run that ad, and you can kind of see how that looks like. And then you can target the right audience. You can say, okay, I'm targeting people in Toronto within the 25-mile radius, and you can kind of go from there. But there is a few things about ads. So we've created this tool, but we're seeing a lot of common mistakes. And my goal is to basically tell you what that is. So again, Facebook and Instagram and all the ad systems have this learning phase. So I've seen a lot of realtors come to us, and they give us $50 and they're like, run this ad for me. And I'm like, okay, sure, we do it, but you're not going to get results out of it, but sure. So here's the thing. It's a process. The first thing that any ad at any given point does is that first it learns about your objective. So at Roomvu, we do select your objective, so that's good. But then once that objective, which is lead generation, is selected, the experiment phase starts. So Facebook starts learning about who your audience is. So they would start posting your ad and putting your ad in front of other people, and they would take action based on that ad. So the more people engage with that ad, the more it builds your network of audience. So then it optimizes your ad. And the learning phase usually ends when you've generated enough optimization, and you can kind of go from there. And then the next thing that it does is it basically goes through the running phase, and then it would go through the activation phase. So again, think of all these steps, and think of how long this would take. Usually this takes about 2-3 weeks. So be mindful if you're running ads. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so moving on. Now, the next question that we see is, what is the average cost per lead on Facebook for a different type of ad? So again, remember guys, this is the one I was talking about. What's your home worth? Do not run this ad. It's expensive. Run this one instead, which is like home worth neighbor, or run pre-sale ads or list of homes. So the pre-sale ads are essentially these ads. So let me go back and I will show you what a pre-sale ad is. And this could actually tie into what our friend was saying earlier about landing pages. So you can actually link landing pages at the end of these. But you have a ton of creatives here that are talking about different buildings in Toronto. So you can run ads on the Galleria condos, for example. And if it's good to go, you can simply just start your ad and run the first ad. There's a ton of creatives here. Go out there, look at them, and start running ads on them. Depending on where your network is, depending on where everything is, just make sure you pick the right project, and make sure you work in that market and your audience is related to that market. So you can see all these projects that are ready to go. You can run ads on them. And if I go back to my chart, these are actually costing almost a third of what's your home worth. So again, this is the most frequent ad on our platform. I have to keep telling people move on to these ones instead. Another one is market forecast. This is another type of ad that you can run, and these are performing greatly as well. So let me show you what that looks like. So market forecasts are these type of ads. It's like, is Canada roasted bubble going to burst? These are the type of content that would drive clicks and that would drive people to watch the full video. The moment they want to watch the full video, we grab that lead and send it to you. So this is something that we've tried and it works great. Try these ads, and you would get a lot of value out of it. So now we come to the next part of this presentation, and that is about how many of the agents are actually following up with their leads. So I'll come to this, but okay. So when we did a survey with our agents, we asked them, okay, how many of you guys are actually following up with your leads? And this was an interesting question. Let me bring the actual report and show it to you. Hang on. Okay, so this is here. So we asked them, okay, how many of you guys are actually following up with your leads? And what happens post-lead generation? So we've generated the lead. What happens? So sadly, we saw only 15% of people actually following up. This is a sad fact. So 15% of agents actually grabbed the phone or started texting that lead that came in, and the rest of them just let it die. So what is the danger with this? Why is this a bad thing? Well, the fact is that lead is fresh and it's a cold lead. Okay, so you have to understand a couple of things. You got that lead, and it's a fresh lead. So first of all, you just have to start texting them and talking with them a little bit. Do not grab the phone and call them, because they're like, why did you call me? What's the point? Why am I getting this call from you? And they will be usually saying no, thank you. So what we've seen in the past is the best method to talk to them is start sending text messages. So what we did, and we did an experiment with this a while ago. The idea was to basically run a lead vetting campaign for them. So you can see here, so Ali's got some leads that are already here. I can just show some of these leads that have come in. So if these leads come from ads, what we do is we basically run a campaign for you, and we start talking to your leads. The idea is to say, hey, I'm talking to you on behalf of this agent, and you get a copy of all these, obviously. And we send them great content. Again, the idea is to send content and use the content and say, hey, did you know the mortgage rates are going up? Did you know these are the tips for home staging? Did you know these are the tips for first-time home buying? And we've seen tremendous results out of that. We've seen a lot of agents use this system and get a lot of value out of it. I will show you a few examples in a sec. But the idea is just to showcase and understand what that means. So these are the examples. Like this is, I just grabbed this from yesterday. So we're basically saying, like, thanks for watching the latest video. We just sent a video on selling your home. Avoid these mistakes. And the guy's like, I want to know how much I can get from my house. This is the address. Another content that we sent yesterday was we sent something. These are all in Toronto, by the way. We send something else to this guy and say, hey, this is the content. And then the buyer is like, I want to buy a house. I'm a first-time home buyer. What does that look like? Another one that we have here is, I'm retired. I don't know if you can see the text, but like another buyer said, I'm retired. I want to buy something in the range of $20.90 for the total payment. So again, think of leads, think of where they come, and think of how long this would take to actually vet these leads. It's a process. You're not going to get results out of it the same day, but it's a process. You have to send them content. You have to keep engaging with them until they become activated. And think of intent as well. We've seen a lot of agents that come to us and say, hey, Sam, I have a lot of leads. I have 4,000 leads. And I'm like, how did you get this? Like, there's no way that you have 4,000 leads. These are cold leads that you've acquired somehow. And what is the intent with them? Are they ready to buy? Did you connect with them like last week, or is it a lead from like a year ago? So think of all these people and think of where they are in the home buying journey. So now we did another experiment, and that was lead conversion, the follow-up. So if we left it to the agent, only 19% of the leads became activated. But if we did the automated follow-up, 31% became activated. So activated, just for context, means that these are the people that have interacted with you in some way or another, asking questions rather than just saying no thank you and ignoring you. And again, guys, understand that if you're running ads, this portion of it, or even 50% of it, would never talk to you. That's okay. But you just have to run enough ads to target that right guy and talk with them. So moving on, the last piece that I want to cover today is we also looked at what are the best keywords and what are the best performing keywords across social. And as you can see, the bigger the keyword, the better it performed. We actually saw a lot of people using, check out the latest video, use the term home prices and time to sell a home. These keywords perform really great on social media, so use them. Things like clever tips or these programs are available, or payment assistant is available. It's always helping to get leads there. So with that, I'm just going to stop sharing, and I would open up to questions and answers. I really want to know what it is that you guys are thinking about, like how we can help, and we can kind of go from there.
Thank you, Sam, for your great presentation.
Thank you.
I start with my question. Actually,
Okay.
I had this question like time ago. My question is that is it good if we have two page in Instagram, one as a business, one as a personal, as a business owner? This is always my question.
That's a great question. I think it all depends. It depends, first of all, how many followers and how much engagement you have on either one of these pages. So you want to use the engagement. You want to use the current audience that you have on one page and derive it to the other page. So if your personal page is a big account and you have 500 people in it, like for a lot of people, that's a lot of followers. And you have that, then you might want to use that on a page that only has 10 followers. So you might want to reshare that content and drive the traffic there. Again, we've seen a lot of agents telling us I want to keep the two pages separate. I would advise against that because, guys, think of social media as this beautiful meal that you have to serve. The meal has to have its own sauce. The meal has to have its own presence. And that is you. The sauce is you. The brand awareness is you. And this is what defines you as the person. And it's basically telling, okay, this is Sarah's story. This is Vida's story. And you have to share your personal content there as well. If you're hitting the gym, share content. If you're picking your kids from a school, share that content. Tell your personal story. You can't believe how much engagement we get on family content. if you're a family, post it. Like today, to this date, my biggest performing posts are still the ones that I'm doing with my wife. So do those. Send those messages out. It's okay to mix it. Like there is this perception that we should keep them separate. You're not working in a farm or like, I don't know, a factory that you want to keep things separate. You are getting leads from your audience. You're getting leads from your sphere, and you need to utilize your sphere and make sure you're getting value out of it. Okay, so
Perfect.
Ali is asking, can we get some Persian comments, Persian contents? Yes, we did do a few videos back in the day, and it was basically focused around the Persian or specific language. So we had it for Chinese, we had it for Farsi market updates, and so on. So we've seen a lot of great content, and we've seen a lot of great engagement from it. We are testing the idea, we're toying with the idea. In most of the US, we do have a Spanish videos now, and because there's a huge population there. So yes, we are adding those contents, and we would test by engagement and see how much engagement did we get from it. Did we have more realtors wanting that content? And we can kind of go from there.
Perfect. Thank you. There is
Okay.
another question. How do we share personal posts? What percentage of the post?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the golden ratio is 5-1. So for every 5 business posts that you're making, make 1 post. So think of it as 1 time a week, but that post should define you and your branding. Should define something that it is that you're doing in the community. If it's your favorite coffee shop, post it. If it's your favorite, whatever it is, you have to talk about it, and you have to educate your audience on it. I've seen this a lot where agents just keep sharing like random stuff. No, it has to be about you. It has to be about who you are and what your brand is. And I think that's what we've seen work the best so far. All right. Okay. So
Great.
guys,
Thank you.
if there are no more questions, thank you so much for attending this demo and webinar. I hope I've been able to add some value here. So feel free to reach out to me on sam@roomvu.com. Go sign up for your free account at Roomvu. See what it is that we're doing. You will get a ton of value, and the investment is not that high. Our highest plan is $100 a month, and you will get a ton of value on your social. We've seen agents getting listings out of these contents within the first month. So go out there, and remember, this is a long-term game. Do not post one video and think you have won it on social media. It's a long-term game. Consistency. So if you're not doing it consistent enough, you're not doing it. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining this call, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thanks.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.